Okay, let us proceed to the section B of Waec 2024 Mathematics exam, past exam solution, okay? That is section B. We are done with section A. So, in your exam, you are going to be, especially in mathematics, you are going to be given two sections in the theory, okay? The section A, you have to answer all the question, but section B, you can choose the question to answer. But I'm going to provide solution to all the question, okay? Now, let's look at the first question. Given that x plus 2, 4x plus 3, and 7x plus 24 are consecutive terms of a geometric progression, find the value of x and the common ratio, okay? Let's look at what we are given in the question. We are given that x plus 2, this thing, that is question 6, okay? X plus 2, then 4x plus 3, and 7x plus 24. They are consecutive terms of a geometric progression. Now, pay attention to the word consecutive. Because they are consecutive, they follow each other, you understand? Let's assume that this is the first term. That means that this will be the second term, and this will be the third term. Do you understand? Okay, so when you hear the word consecutive, they follow each other. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? After the first term, the next term is the after the first term, for example, which term comes after the first term? That's second term, right? So let's assume that this is the first term. That means that this will be the second term and this will be the third term. Let's assume that this is a sixth term. This will be the seventh term and this will be the eighth term. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Okay. Now that is the explanation of the word. When you hear the word consecutive, that means that terms follows each other. Okay. Now we are asked to find the value of x. Now before we can get the value of x, there are some concepts in geometric progression. For example, the common ratio. The common ratio is gotten. Listen. The common ratio is gotten by dividing maybe the second term all over the first term, or the third term all over the second term, or the fourth term all over the third term, and so on. You understand? Okay. So since we know that these are consecutive terms, that means that if I divide this term by this term, it will be equivalent to this term and over this term. Listen to the explanation again. A geometric progression is a kind of progression that differs by a constant common ratio. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? That is, when you take the ratio of the of two successive terms in the geometric progression, you're going to arrive at the same answer. For example, let's say 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm just looking at what I can use. Let's say 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, it's not possible. Let's say we have 3, 6. After 6, we have 12. Okay. Then after 12, we have 24. Now look at this. Let's say this is a geometric progression. You understand? Now, the basic definition of a geometric progression is that they differs by a constant common ratio. Do you understand? Okay. So this is the first term, this is the second term, this is the third term, and this is the fourth term. Now, common ratio is expressed as this: the second term divided by the first term, or the third term divided by the second term. Just take the ratio of the of two successive terms. You are going to obtain your common ratio. Do you understand? So let's check. 6 divided by 3 is what? That is 2, right? 2. 12 divided by 6 is what? 12 divided by 6 is also what? 2. 24 divided by 12 is what? 2. You can see that this is a geometric progression. Why? Because the successive term differs by what? A constant common ratio. Now, back to the question that we are given. We can determine the value of x using the ratio formula. You understand? Let's take the ratio. Let's take the common ratio. Common ratio is equals to T2, which is 4x. I just assume 4x plus 3 all over x plus 2. X plus 2. The common ratio can also be this one, which is 7x plus 24 all over 4x plus 3 as well. Okay, you can see now. Now, because listen to me. Because in a geometric progression, no matter the term that you use, you are going to obtain the same common ratio. You understand? That means that we can set this equals to this. Do you understand? So I'm going to have 4x plus 3 all over x plus 2, yes, equals to 7x plus 24 all over 4x plus 3. Okay, so I'm very sure you understand how I got that. If you didn't understand, maybe you should reverse the video and listen to the explanation again. Okay, now to get the value of x, first take the cross product, you understand? So we're going to have 4x plus 3 multiplied by 4x plus 3 equals to 7x plus 24 multiplied by x plus 2. You understand? I just take the cross product, that is this x plus 2 multiply this, and 4x plus 3 multiply 4x plus 3. Okay, let's go. 4x multiply 4x, that is what? 16x squared. Okay, 4x times 3, that is plus 12x, plus 3 times 4x, that is what? Plus 12x, plus 3 times plus 3, that is what? Plus 9, equals to, okay, for the right hand side of this equation, 7x times x, that is what? 14x, oh sorry, 7x squared, that is 7x squared. Okay, 7x plus 2, 7x times plus 2, that is what? Plus 14x, then plus 24 multiply x, that is what? Plus 24x, then plus 24 multiply plus 2, that is what? Plus 20 plus 48 plus 48. Okay, now from this point we can collect like terms, you understand? And you know, looking at this now, you know that we're going to result into a quadratic equation. I'm very sure you know. Okay, 16x squared. Okay, this 7x squared, let it cross the equals to sign. You're going to have negative 7x squared, yes. Then plus 12x. Okay, let's add. Plus 12x plus 12x, that is what? Plus 24x. So I'm going to have plus 24x. Now, 14x plus 24x, that is what? Plus 36x. So I'm going to have, now if this 36x crosses the equals to sign, you're going to have a negative. So I'm going to have minus 36x. You understand? You see, I just sum this together because they both have the same term. I'm collecting like terms, okay? So I sum this together, plus 14x and plus 24x. So I obtain plus 36x. And see, because I have to take all this to the other side, to the left hand side of the equation, I'm going to have negative 36x. Do you understand? Okay. Oh, this will be plus, negative 38, negative 38x. Then for the last one, we have plus 9, and then we have plus 48. If this plus 48 crosses the equals to sign, we are going to have a negative. Okay, so I'm going to have minus 48 equals to 0. Now 16x squared minus 16x squared minus 7x squared, that is what? 9x squared, right? So I'm going to have 9, let me change the marker here, 9x squared. Okay, let's proceed. Plus 24x minus 38x, that is what? Minus 14x, okay? Minus 14x, okay? Now, for the last one, we have plus 9 minus 48, that is what? Minus 39. Minus 39 equals to 0. Now, we have obtained this quadratic equation. We can solve this quadratic equation using any of the method that you know. You can use the general formula or quadratic formula, and you can use completing the square or factorization method. But here, I'm going to factorize. Okay, if you want to solve this quadratic equation using the factorization method, we're going to have 9x squared minus 27x plus 13x minus 39 equals to 0. Okay, so we can factorize, divide it into two parts. Now, what is common to 9x squared and 27x? That is what? 9x, right? Yes. 9x multiplied by x minus 3. Okay. Now, what is common to plus 13x and 39? That is plus 13. Okay. Plus 13 multiplied by x minus 3. Okay. So equals to 0. Now, I'm going to have 9x plus 13 equals to 0 and x minus 3 equals to 0. Now, for this, I'm going to have 9x equals to minus 13. Yes, 9x equals to minus 13 and x equals to 3. So to get the value of x here, I'm going to divide both sides by 9. So I'm going to have x equals to negative 13 all over 9, or x equals to 3. Now, having gotten the value of x are this. Now, we are asked to find the common ratio. Don't forget that the common ratio is this over this or this over this. You can use any value. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? You can use any expression of this among these. You see, if you are well versed with geometric progression, you will discover that no matter the successive term that you use, you are going to obtain a single answer. You understand? So if you use this value, you are going to obtain the same answer as well as this. Now, because we have a quadratic equation that we solve and get the roots, which are 2, now you are going to substitute each values of x in any of these common ratio. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So let's start with negative 13 over 9. When x is negative 13 over 9, we're going to obtain the common ratio. So just pay attention. So let us use the first one, okay? Let's use the first one now. So let's erase this. Now, when x is 13 over 9, negative 13 over 9, I'm going to have r is equals to, we're going to have r is equals to 4 multiplied by negative 13 over 9 plus 3 all over negative 13 over 9 plus 2. Do you understand? All I did was that I just replaced the value of x as negative 13 over 9. You know, we obtained two values of x, so we are going to have two common ratio. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So when x is negative 13 over 9, we want to find the common ratio at the value of x. Now, 4 multiplied by 13, we are going to have r equals to negative 52 minus 52 all over 9. Okay, well, you can take the LCM directly, so that will be minus 52 plus 3 over 1, then divided by, now for this, you're going to have minus 13 all over 9 plus 2 all over 1. Do you understand? Okay, so for this, you're going to have, what is the LCM of this? I'm going to have 9 minus 52 plus 27. That is the numerator. I'm dealing with the numerator now, okay? And the biggest division sign here. What's the LCM of this and this? That is what? 9. 9. Okay? That is minus 13 plus 18. Do you understand? I just take the LCM and then I simplified. Now, when you get to this point, you can rearrange the equation by changing the division signs to a multiplication sign. So, we're going to have some, okay, let me finish this. Minus 52 plus 27 all over 9 divided by minus 13 plus 18 all over 9. You understand? Okay, now minus 52 plus 27, that is what? Minus 25. Okay, so I'm going to have minus 25 all over 9. Now, if you change this to multiplication sign, you're going to have multiplied by 9 all over minus 13 plus 18. That is what? 5. So this over 5. Now, this 9 will cancel this 9, and this 5 here, negative 5. So the answer when x is negative 13 over 9, the common ratio is minus 5. Do you understand? Okay. Now we are still going to solve for when x is 3. Okay. So I want you to pay attention. Now when x is 3, we are going to have r is equals to 4 multiplied by 3 plus 2 all over 3 plus 2. Do you understand? Don't forget the value of x. The value of x are what? Negative 13 over 9 or 3. Okay, that's the value of x. Now, we have already gotten the common ratio when x is negative 13 over 9, which is what? Negative 5. Now, I want to find the value of the common ratio when x is 3. And that means that we are going to substitute the value of x as 3 into this. So I'm going to have 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is what? 12. 12 plus 2 all over 5. Okay. Oh, this should be 3. Sorry. This should be 3. 4x plus 3, you know. So when x is 3, I'm going to have 4 times 3 plus 3. Okay. So this will be 3. Now, 12 plus 3. That is what? 15, right? 15 divided by 5. That is what? 3. Okay. So when x is negative 13 over 5, the common ratio is what? Minus 5. Okay. And when x is 3, the common ratio is 3. Do you understand? Okay, so that is the solution to that question. And that's the solution to that question. I'm very sure you understand it. If you are given this kind of question, see, let me tell you, let me give you an advice. If you are solving any question in exam, it is what you are given that you're going to use to look for what you are told to find. You understand? You know, we are given this successive term, this consecutive term of the GP, and I've already explained what is meant by consecutive term. Now, we know that if we divide this by this, we're going to obtain the common ratio. Likewise, if you divide this by this, you're going to obtain the common ratio. And for every geometric progression, they have a constant common ratio, which is the ratio between two successive terms in the GP. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So now, having gotten that, we just form a quadratic equation and solve for the value of x. When you are done with that, you replace those values into the formula that you got to get the common ratio. You can see now, it's simple. So kindly pay attention to the details of the question when solving especially in exam, okay? Okay, now let's proceed to the second question. The seventh question, which is the second question for section B. Now, we are given the table shows the ages of 20 children in a household. Given that x ratio y equals to 1 ratio 2, find the values of x and y. That's the first question. And the second question, we are asked to find the mean age of the children. Now, so this is the table that we are given in the question. We have the age, we have the frequency. Now, let's look at what we are given in the question. We are given that x ratio y, the ratio of x to y is 1 ratio 2. Now we are asked to calculate the value of x and y and the mean age of the children. The mean age of the children. Now, before we can calculate the mean age, we first need to determine the value of x and y. Is that not it? Now, from the question, the total numbers of children is what? 20, right? So let's start. The total numbers of children. The total numbers of children is 20. So, and we know from statistics that frequency tells us the total numbers of data that we have. You understand? So that means that if I want to obtain the total numbers of children from the table, I'm going to sum all the frequency. Is that not it? Because frequency tells us the numbers of students, the numbers of data, the numbers of samples that is present in our data set. Do you understand? Okay, so for this, let's sum all this together. We're going to have 2 plus 2x plus 1. Okay, 2x minus 1 plus 2x minus 1 plus y plus 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus y minus 1 equals to 20. Do you know the reason why I equate it to 20? The reason is because I just tell you the definition of frequency. Frequency in statistics tells us the numbers of times your data repeats itself. You understand? So if you sum all the frequency, we can know the numbers of samples that we have in our data set. Are you getting it? Data set represents the total numbers of samples that you are using in your analysis. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So frequency that you have here, if you sum it together, it will be equivalent to the numbers of samples that you gather. And because we are dealing with children, the total numbers of children that we are given is what? Is 20. So that means if you sum up all this frequency, you're going to have 20. Are you getting it? So from this we can get an equation. You understand? So 2. Okay, let me just remove the bracket. 2 plus 4, that is 6, right? 6 plus 2, that is 8. 8, then I'm going to have 8 plus, now, 2x minus 1 plus y plus 2 plus y minus 1 equals to 20, okay? 8, let us collect like terms. 8 minus 1, that is 7, right? 7 plus 2, that is 9, right? 9 minus 1, that is what? 8, is that not it? So I'm going to have plus 8. Now 2x, listen, 2x, okay, 2x plus y, I'm going to have 2x, we have plus y here, that is plus 2y, so I'm going to have plus 2y plus 8 equals to 20. Do you know what I did? I just collected like terms, you understand? I had the time that are similar to each other, you understand? Now, we have only one 2x here. There are no other numbers that carries 2x, so I have 2x. Now, we have positive y here, we have positive y here. If you have both y together, you're going to have plus 2y, right? Now, I still have 8 here. 8 minus 1, 7. 7 plus 2, 9. 9 minus 1, 8. That's why I got this positive 8 equals to 20. Now, we are not done. For this, I'm going to have 2x plus 2y equals to what? 20 minus 8. Do you know? Just take that positive 8 to the other side. You're going to have minus 8. So, for this, I'm going to have 2x plus 2y equals to 12. So, you can factorize 2 into bracket x plus y equals to 12. Divide this by 2. This over 2 and this over 2. That means that x plus y equals to what? 6. Do you understand? Okay, so we can call that one equation 1. Do you understand? Call it equation 1. Now, look at we are given another important information in the question. We are given that x ratio y equals to 1 over 2. Now, x ratio y. Ratio is just like division. So, x over y equals to 1 over 2. Do you understand? Expressing a fraction in its lowest term gives the ratio of that fraction. Are you getting it? So, x over y equals to 1 over 2. Now, from this, we can make either x or y the subject of the formula. Let's call this one equation 2. Are you getting it? Call it equation 2. Call this equation 2. Now, we have equation 1 and equation 2. We can make one the subject of the relation and then, substitute it into equation 1 to get the value of one of the unknown. We have two unknown, right, which are x and y. So, if you cross multiply, you're going to have 2x from equation 2 now. If you cross multiply, you're going to have 2x equals to y. Are you getting it? So, we can set y equals to 2x. Having gotten the value of y as 2x, substitute the value of y as 2x into the first equation. You understand? So, I'm going to have x plus y equals to 6, which is the first equation. Now, when y is 2x, we're going to have x plus 2x, just like I replace this y as 2x. So, I'm going to have x plus 2x equals to 6. So, 3x equals to 6. Divide both sides by 3. This over 3, I'm going to have x equals to 2. Now, we've gotten the value of x as 2. It is very easier for us to get the value of y. All we have to do is that we just have to replace x as 2 into this. Since y equals to 2x and x is 2, I'm going to have y equals to 2 multiplied by 2, which is what? 4. So, we are done with the first question, which says we should find the value of x and y. X is 2 and y is 4. You understand? X is 2 and y is 4. Now, having gotten the value of x as 2 and y as 4, we can now proceed to calculate the mean age. Mean means average. You understand? That is the summation of the frequency and the age all over the total numbers of frequency. And we know that total numbers of frequency is 20. You understand? Frequency represents the total numbers of children. So this is the table that I'm going to use to calculate the mean. You understand? This is the table that I'm going to use. I'm coming. Okay. So it is this table that I'm going to use to calculate the mean. Now, the x are the age. You understand? The ages of the student are the x. So the first one is 5, the second 6, the third 7, we have 8, we have 9, and we have 10. Now, the frequency for 5 is what? 2. That means that 2 children are 5 years old. You understand? And now, the frequency for 6 is what? 2x plus 1. And we've already gotten the value of x as 2. So, 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1, sorry. 2x minus 1 will be equals to 2 multiplied by 2 minus 1. That is what? 4 minus 1, which is what? 3. So the frequency for this one is 3. Do you understand? All I did here was that I substitute the value of x as 2. So I'm going to have 4 minus 1, which is 3. Now, for the next one, we have y plus 2. Y is what? Y is 4. So I'm going to have 4 plus 2. That is 6. So I have 6 here. For the next one, we have 4, which is for 8. For 9, we have 2. And for 10, we have y minus 1. Y is 4. So 4 minus 1 will be what? 3. So I'm going to have 3 here. Now, we have to take the product of the frequency and the x. Are you getting it? Because mean of frequency distribution is calculated by taking the summation. Mean of frequency distribution is calculated by summation f of x all over summation f. You understand? This is the formula for calculating the mean of frequency distribution, and this is the frequency distribution. Okay, so you need the product of f and x. 5 times 2 is what? 10. That is the product of this x and f. 6 times 3 is what? 18, right? 7 times 6 is 42. 8 times 4 is what? 32. 9 times 2 is what? 18. And 10 times 3 is what? Is 30, okay? So, having taken the product of frequency and x, we can now take their summation. Okay? Now, the summation is 150. Do you understand? That is, if you had 10 plus 18 plus 42 plus 32 plus 18 plus 30, that is 150, okay? So I'm going to have 150, okay? So I'm going to have the mean is equals to 150 all over sum of the frequency. If you sum all the frequency together, you're going to have 20. So the mean is 150 all over 20. Mean is equals to 150 divided by 20. That is what? 7.5. So the mean of the distribution is 7.5. That is the final answer and the solution to that question. Okay? So you can see now, it is what we are given that we use to obtain what we are asked to find. You understand? We are given the ratio of x to y, and we are given the frequency and some values of y and x in the frequency. So based on our knowledge, you see, in Waec, it is what you the application of what you've learned. That is what they are not going to give you direct question. Okay, let's proceed to the next question. Two observers, Abu and Badu, 46 meters apart, observed a bed on a vertical pole from the same side of the bed. Okay, the angles of elevation of the bed from Abu's and Badu's eyes are 40 degrees and 48 degrees respectively. If at the foot of the pole, Abu and Badu are on the same horizontal level. A. Illustrate the information in a diagram. B. Calculate correct to one decimal place the height of the pole. Okay, now let's start with the first question. We are asked to illustrate the information in a diagram. Listen. To illustrate the information in the diagram, I want to pay attention to some of the things that I'm going to be explaining. Listen. Let's say the first statement there says that two observers, Abu and Badu, 46 meters apart. So please pay attention. Okay, pay attention. Let's say this is the first observer. This is Abu. Are you getting it? And we have another observer, which is Badu. You understand? Let me draw Badu with black. Okay, this is Badu. Now, both of them are on the same horizontal level. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So the distance between both of them is 46 meters apart. You understand? 46 meters. So let's represent this as 46 meters. Do you understand? Both of these, both Abu and Badu observe a bed on a vertical pole. Now, let's say this is the vertical pole. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Let's call this the vertical pole. You see, listen to me. Listen to me carefully. If you are doing this in exam, you didn't have to illustrate all this. The reason why I'm illustrating this is because I want you to understand, okay? So this topic is coming from, this question is coming from a topic known as angle of elevation and depression. You understand? So I'm just trying to illustrate it so as to help you to understand, okay? Now, this is the horizontal pole. Now, both Abu, this is Abu, and this is Badu. Both of them observe a bed on a vertical pole from the same side. Okay, both Abu and Badu they observe the bed. Let me draw the bed here. This is the bed. Okay, they observe the bed from this side of the pole. Now, let's proceed. The angles of elevation of the bed from Abu's and Badu's eyes are 40 degrees and 48 degrees respectively. Now, look at this. The angles of elevation of the bed from Abu's. Let's start with Abu's. The angle of elevation from Abu's and Badu's eyes are 40 degrees. So that of Abu is what? Is 40 degrees. Do you understand? Okay. That of Abu is 40 degrees, and that of Badu from the same point, from the same side of the bed, and that one is 48 degrees. 48 degrees. You can see now. Can you see the diagram? Okay. Don't forget, the angles of elevation is the angle between your eye level and the top. I get what I'm trying to say. So now they are observing the bed, right? So the angle between their eye level, this is their eye level, and what they are observing, that angle is what we call the angle of elevation. So we've been told that the angle of elevation of Abu is 40 degrees and that of Badu is 48 degrees. Now, okay. Now we have to illustrate the diagram illustrate the information in the diagram. This is the illustration, you understand? Now, if you are solving this in the exam, I won't expect you to put all these people, I just use this to signify Abu and Badu, just to help you to understand. Are you get what I'm trying to say? So if you want to draw it in the exam, draw it in this way. Just draw something like this. This is the illustration, okay? This is the pole, you understand? This is the pole. This is the first observer. This is the second observer. Do it like this. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Do you understand? You can draw the diagram. You can draw the diagram in this way. You understand? Okay. You can draw the diagram in this way, and the distance between them is what? 46 meter. 46 meter. Do you understand? Okay. So if you are solving this in the exam, you can draw the diagram in this way, and then it depends on you. So this is 46 meter, and this is 40 degree, and this is 48 degree. Do you understand? So you can still label also A, B, C, D, E. You understand? And you can call this place F. Are you seeing it now? So I just illustrate it here to help you to understand that the diagram here is also the same thing. Okay. Now that is the first question. We have to illustrate the diagram. We have to illustrate the information in the diagram. So we are done with the first question. This is the first question. Now let's look at the second question. We are asked to calculate, correct to one decimal place, the height of the pole. Now this is the pole, right? Yes, this is the pole. The height of the pole is the distance between this point and this point. Okay, the distance here is the height of the pole. Now listen to me carefully. How can you determine the height of the pole? How do you want to determine the height of the pole? Listen to me carefully. Let's call this point, let's call the total length of this place X. You understand? Listen. Let's call the total length from this point, from the first, listen, between the foot of the pole to Abu's, to where Abu stands, let us call it X. Now, but we've been given the distance between Abu and Badu as 46 meters. So this will be what? X minus 46 meters. Do you understand? Just like you are given that the distance between this point and this point is 46 meters. And we know that total length from this point to this point is X. So this will be what? X minus 46 meters. Are you getting it? How can we calculate the height of the pole? Well, before we can calculate the height of the pole, let us represent this as Y and let us represent this as Z. See, let me tell you, to get the height of the pole, you need the height of this, you need the height of Abu and Badu. You understand? We need the height of Abu and Badu. Let's say this is Z. This is Z. The distance between this point and this point will be also Z. So the height will be Y plus Z. Now, but we are not given the height, so we have to redraw the diagram. You understand? We have to redraw the diagram here. So neglecting the height of this of the people, you understand? Neglecting the height of Abu and Badu. So I'm going to have something like this. Abu here, the distance, Abu here, Badu here, the distance is 46 meters, right? And the angle here is 40 degrees, and the angle here is 48 degrees. Okay, so this is the height of the pole. Now you can see now. So with respect to what we are given in the question, we need the height of these people to determine the total the height of the pole. But with respect to what you are given, perhaps they want you to neglect the height of the people. So with respect to what you have here, you can now determine the height of the pole without even knowing the height of these people. The height of Abu and Badu. Do you understand? Okay, so the diagram can be restructured in this way. So let's call this C, let's call this D. Let's call the total length here, let us call it X. So this will be what? X minus 46 meters. Do you understand? So now to get the height, let's look at the bigger triangle. From triangle ACD, this bigger triangle, one ACD. The triangle is this is the triangle. From triangle ACD, this will be X, this will be A, and this will be C, this will be D. Now the triangle is inclined at this angle, that is what? 40 degrees. You understand? So I'm very sure you know what I'm doing. If you didn't understand, listen to the explanation again. Now I want to calculate the height of the pole. Now I am considering the bigger triangle now. Having labeled the angles, angle A, B, A, C, D, that is the bigger triangle, right? And I've already represented this total length, the total length of the adjacent side here as x. So I put x here. The total triangle, the angle that you're going to be focusing on now is 40 degrees. Like the angle that you're going to be focusing on now is 40 degrees. So I have 40 degrees here. Now this is the height. Okay. Now let's calculate the height. What combines both the adjacent and the height? Like what combines both the adjacent and the opposite side of a right angle triangle? Like what mnemonic device are you going to use? In this case, we are given the adjacent as this and the opposite as h. I hope you know that the height that we are calculating lies on the opposite side. You understand? So what are we going to use based on our trigonometry formula that we know? Are we going to use so, ka, or twa? Well, we have the height, which is the opposite, and we have the adjacent. So the suitable trigonometric identity or the suitable trigonometric formula is tan. You understand? So I'm going to have tan theta is equals to opposite over adjacent. So now the theta is 40 degrees. So I'm going to have tan 40 degrees is equals to the opposite, which is h, all over adjacent, which is x. Do you know? Okay, so let's now consider the smallest triangle. You understand? The triangle inside the bigger triangle, which is triangle BCD. You understand? This triangle BCD from triangle BCD. We're going to have something like this. We also have h here. We have now from this triangle now we are going to have x minus 46 meter as the denominator. I mean as the adjacent, x minus 46. Okay. If you cannot see my writing, let me redraw the triangle. Okay. If you didn't understand what I'm doing, let me know in the comment section. Okay. Now, this is the triangle BCD. So this is what x minus 46. Okay. Now this is 48 degree, right? 48 degree, and this is the right angle. This is the height. Now, with respect to what we have here, what trigonometric formula combine the iron? Okay, with respect to what we have here, we are looking for the height, which is h, right? And the height on this triangle is the opposite, and the adjacent has been, we have derived an expression for the adjacent, which is what? X minus 46 meter. Okay, yes. Now, what trigonometric formula are we going to use that combines both the opposite and the adjacent? It is still tan, you understand? So I'm going to have tan theta equals to opposite over adjacent, right? So the theta now is now 48 degrees, and 48 degrees is equals to opposite. Opposite is h, and the adjacent is what? X minus 46. Do you understand? Okay, now let us now solve it step one by one. For this, I'm going to have x tan 40 degrees equals to h, and for this, I'm going to have tan 48 degrees multiplied by x minus 46 is equals to h. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, we have x tan 40 degrees equals to h, and tan 48 degrees multiplied by x minus 46 equals to h. Now, we all know that the height will still be the same. You understand? The height here, the height for the bigger triangle is still the same thing. Is the same as the height of the smaller triangle. That is, the height of the triangle ACD is still the same height of that triangle PCD. Abi, do we have two heights? We only have a single height. You understand? Whether you are considering the bigger triangle or the smaller triangle, you are still going to have a single height. So now, for the bigger triangle, which is triangle ACD, height is what? X tan 40 degrees. And for the smaller triangle, which is inside the bigger triangle, height is what? Tan 40 degrees multiplied by x minus 46. Now, since we are going to have a single height, we can equate this and this together. You understand? So that's what I'm going to do now. Let's call this 1. Let's call this equation 2. Okay. Now equate the height. Height is equals to height. That is, I'm going to have x tan 40 degrees is equals to tan 48 degrees multiplied by x minus 46. Do you understand? Okay. Now we can solve for the value of x, right? Now let's go. Tan 40 degrees. Tan 40 degrees is 0.8391. Okay, so I'm going to have 0.8391x is equals to, now tan 48 degrees times 48, that is 1.1106. So I'm going to have 1.1106x, you know. See, listen to me carefully. Tan 48 degree is multiplying x, right? Yes. So tan 48 degree multiply x, that is what? X multiplied by tan 48 degree. And tan 48 degree is what? 1.1106. So 1.1106 multiplied by x, that is what? 1.1106x, okay? Now, for the second one, we have tan 48 degree, we also multiply negative 46, you understand? And tan 48 degree is what? 1.1106, okay? Let's go. 1.1106 times minus 46, that will give us 51.087. 51 minus 51.087 minus 51.0876. Okay, now we can collect like terms. Okay, so I'm going to have 0.8391x minus 1.1106x equals to minus 51.0876. Okay, now take the difference between this and this. 0.8391 minus 1.1106. That is negative minus 0.2715 x equals to minus 51.0876. Okay, so now from this point we can get the value of x by dividing both sides by minus 0.2715. okay, this over minus 0.2715 and this over minus 0.2715. so x is equals to now negative 51.0876 divided by 0.2 minus 0.2715. That is 188. So 188. Okay, so we're going to the value of 188.167, or at most 188.167. Now the value of x is 188.16, or at most 17. You can leave it in two decimal place. Now don't forget the goals. The goals is to determine the height of the pole. To get the height of the pole, we have already gotten the value of x as 188.1679, you know, because you can leave it in two decimal place. That is what 188.16 or 17, sorry. Now, how do we get the height? Don't forget that the height is what? X tan 40 degree. So we can use any of these two equations to get the height, but let's make use of this. Okay, now don't forget that the height is what? X tan 40 degrees. So the height equals to x. X is what? Now don't use the approximated value. I get what I'm trying to say. Use the real value. Don't use the approximated value. The approximated value here is 1.188.17. Well, now use this one. Okay, let's use this one. X, which is what? 188.1679 times, now tan 40 degrees, don't forget, is what? 0.8391. 0.8391. okay, so the height here will be equals to, let's go, 188 times 0.8391. What's the answer? That is 157.89. 157.89 meter, you understand? Okay, so the height of the pole is 157.89 meter. Do you understand? Okay, if you didn't understand, just reverse the video and listen to the explanation again. Okay, it's simple. Now, sorry, we are asked to leave our answer to one decimal place. So we're going to have height is equals to 157.9 meter. Do you understand? Okay, now I want you to pay attention to something. You know, when I want to calculate this thing, when I want to determine the value of height, this value of x have been approximated to two decimal places, but this is the value of x that have not been approximated. You know, I just leave it in 4 decimal place. So this is what I use. Don't use the approximated value. I get what I'm trying to say, to calculate any other value. Use the unapproximated value to get your value, the value of height. Do you understand? and you might come across question that you're going to use your answer, the answer that you get. Make sure that you don't use the approximated value, okay? Let's look at the next question. So if you come across question on angle of elevation and depression in exam, it is very important that you know how to interpret first, and make sure that having done the interpretation, make sure you pay attention to the details of the question. This is the first structure that I got, but I discovered that with respect to this, we cannot find the height. We don't know the height of these people, like Abu and Badu, you understand? So they want us to neglect the height. So I proceed with this diagram. Do you understand? And I arranged the diagram, I used the necessary trigonometry formula to get the value of the height. Okay, so if you have any question as regarding this topic, angle of elevation and depression, let me know. Okay, now let's look at the next question. Now, the diameter of a circle center O is 26 meters. If a chord PQ is drawn such that it is 5 centimeters from O to the center of the chord, calculate, correct to the nearest whole number, the angle POQ, B, area of the minor segment formed by the chord. Now, first step is to draw the diagram, okay? We need the diagram here. From the question, we are told that the diameter of a center of a circle O. Let's draw the circle. Let's say this is the circle, okay? The diameter of a circle center O is 26 meters. So the diameter here is 26 meters. Okay? Please pay attention, okay? The diameter is 26 meters. This diameter is 26 meters, okay? Now, if a chord PQ is drawn such that it is 5 centimeters from O. Now, listen to me. The center is O, right? Yes, this is the center. We represent the center as this dot. The center is called O. Now, a chord is drawn such that it is 5 meters away from the center. That means, let's say this is the chord. We draw the chord here. Now, because the chord is 5 meters away from the center, that means that the distance between this point and this point is what? 5 centimeters. Do you understand? Listen to the question again. The diameter has been given as 26. Let me see. Okay, 26 centimeters. It's not meter. 26 centimeters. And they say that the center is represented as O. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, they now said a chord is drawn such that it is 5 centimeters away from the center. So the distance between this point, which is center O, and the chord that is drawn is what? 5 centimeters. So this distance is 5 centimeters. Do you understand? Okay. To the center of the chord. This is the center of the chord. Okay. Calculate, correct the nearest whole number. Angle POQ. The chord is what? PQ. PQ. Now we have to calculate angle POQ. Now listen to me. Listen to me carefully. This is all we are given in the question. From what we are given, we are able to obtain this diagram. Now, I'm going to sketch this point to this point to form a radius. I get what I'm trying to say. Radius is any point from the center of the circle to the circumference. To any point on the circumference. I get what I'm trying to say. So, I'm going to sketch this as well. I get what I'm trying to say. So, now, this is the angle that we have to calculate. Do you understand? Okay? This is the angle that we have to calculate. Angle POQ. Angle POQ. Now, how do we get this angle? We've been given that this one is what? 5 centimeters, right? Yes. And this will be what? 90. Now, since you know that any line drawn from the center of the circle to any point on the circumference is radius, and we've been given the diameter of the circle as what? 26 centimeters. That means that the radius will be what? Diameter over 2, right? Because 2 radius makes 1 diameter. Do you understand? Okay, so the radius will be diameter over 2, and we know that the line that I sketched here is what? Is the radius. So, because it comes from the center of the circle to this point, and another radius comes from the center of this circle to this point. So, this is what? 13 centimeters, and this is what? 13 centimeters. I'm very sure you understood how I got the 13 centimeters. Listen to the explanation again. The diameter has been given at 20 centimeters. And I told you that the radius is any line that comes from the center of the circle to any point on the circumference, okay? Now, this line comes from this point to the center of the circumference, and to get the radius of a circle, just divide the diameter by 2. Is that not it? So 26 centimeter divided by 2, that is what? 13 centimeters. So I can redraw the diagram like this. Let us redraw the diagram. I'm going to have something like this. Yes. O, P, Q, then this line 5 centimeter. Then this is 13 centimeter. This is 13 centimeter. And then this is the angle that we are looking for, angle POQ. Well, now from what we have here, listen to me. From what we have here, we can find the angle POQ. Let us bring that triangle. Let me call this one let's call this point angle T. You understand? Let us bring out triangle PTO. From triangle PTO. Listen, the triangle is this, PTO. I'm going to have something like this. Don't forget the goals. The goals is to find the angle, what? This angle, you understand? But I cannot, if I know the value of this angle, I can get the value of this angle, you understand? Because this angle, this line bisects this angle into two equal parts. So that means that if I know the value of this angle, I can get the value of this angle, you understand? Okay, so my goals now is to find this angle, this small angle that you see here. I want to look for that angle, so that if I know this angle, I can get this angle, and then I can get the total angle that is here. Now let us represent this angle as any letter, maybe x. Okay, so we know that the distance from this point to this point is what? 5 centimeters. So this is what? 5, and the distance from this point to this point is what? 13. So this is what? 13. Do you understand? Okay, let's label it POT. Now, with respect to what we have here, look at the triangle. Listen. Look at the triangle. I told you that in the triangle we have 3 angles, right? Yes. Now, because this is the angle that we are considering now, the adjacent will be what? This side. Do you understand? This will be adjacent. This will be the adjacent side. The side that faces the angle X will be what? The opposite side. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Yes. And the longest side is the hypotenuse, which is the side that faces angle 90 degrees. You see now? So you can see that your knowledge of trigonometry is required in solving this question. Some might do this otherwise, you understand? They might think that this is the opposite. 5 is the opposite. It's not true, you understand? Because the angles that we are considering now is angle X. And X lies on this line. And the line that the angle that we are considering lies on is what we call the adjacent. Do you understand? Okay, the side that faces the angle that we are considering is what? Is the opposite. And this is the opposite now. And the side that faces angle 90 degrees, that is what? The hypotenuse. You can see now. So now, please listen to me carefully. I told you Waec will test you across what you learned. It's just the application of what you've been taught. So they will not bring out direct question. Okay, so while solving question, be careful. Okay, now let's proceed. For this now, to get the value of this angle now, I've known that hypotenuse is what? Is 5, and the adjacent is what? The adjacent is the hypotenuse is 13, sorry, and the adjacent is 5. So what trigonometric formula can I use to find this angle X? Well, what combine hypotenuse and adjacent is car. You understand? Car combine both hypotenuse and adjacent, and it simply means cos theta equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. Cos x equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. You understand? So cos x is equals to adjacent. Adjacent is what? 5 all over hypotenuse, which is what? 13. You know, x is equals to cos inverse of 5 over 13. Do you understand? So x equals to, okay, now take the cos inverse of 5 over 13. What's the answer? I'm coming. Okay, the cos inverse of 5 over 13 is 67.38. So x is 67.38 degrees. You understand now? So the value of this angle, this small angle that you see here, is 67. This angle 67 point. Okay, let's represent as x. 67.38. So if this angle is x, this will also be what? X. Do you understand? So to get the total angle that is here, we got x plus x, or 2 times x. You understand? Okay, so to get the angle theta, which is angle POQ is equals to x plus x, or 2x, you understand, equals to 2x. So 2x is what? 2 times x is 67.38 degrees, so we're going to have 2 times 67.38 degree. Okay, punch your calculator. 2 times 67.38 degree, that is what? 134.76. 134.76 degree. So that will be 135 degrees. So the angle POQ is what? 135 degree. Do you understand? Okay, now we are not done with the question. We are asked to calculate the, listen to me, we are asked to calculate I'm coming. Okay, we are asked to calculate the area of the minor segments. Yes, we are asked to calculate the area of the minor segment formed by the chord. This is the area that we are looking for. This area. You can see the area that I painted. That is the area that we are looking for. Now, how do we get the area of the minor segments? To get the area of the minor segments, you can see that in this shape. Okay, let's paint it here. This is the area that I'm looking for now. This one that you see here, listen. The area of this segment, this minor segment, the area of the minor segment, is equals to areas of the sector. Listen to the formula. Area of the sector. This is the area of the sector. You understand? This is the sector. You understand? The areas of the sector. You understand? Minus the areas of the triangle. Listen to the explanation again if you didn't understand what I said. The areas of the minor segment is equals to the areas of the sector. Areas of the sector minus the areas of the triangle. Now, this, let's bring out the triangle. Or let us bring out the sector. We have x 135 degree here, 135 degree, or you can use 134.6 degree, you understand, but it depends on you, sha. But because this is an approximated value, don't forget what I told you. Use unapproximated value while you are computing, while you are using your computed data for another data, you understand. So the unapproximated value is what? 134.76, you understand. So degree. Now let us calculate the areas of this. The area of the sector is theta over 360 multiplied by pi r squared. Okay, now the theta is the angle that is here. That is what? 134.76 degree all over 360 degree multiplied by pi. Pi is 22/7 as given in the question. Multiply r. R is what? 13, right? So 13 squared. Do you understand? Okay, now let me use black pen. I mean black marker. So the area is 134.76 degree divided by 360 times 22/7 times 13 squared. That will give us, just point the calculator at once, 192.82 centimeter squared. Okay, so this is the area of the sector. Now we need the area of the triangle as well. You know, we need the areas of the triangle. Now to get the areas of the triangle is what? Half base times height, right? Half base times height. Let us bring out the triangle. Areas of the sector minus areas of the triangle. You see now, areas of the sector. We have already gotten the areas of the sector as this. Now let's get the areas of the triangle. Let's bring out the triangle. This is the triangle, you know. Let me draw it so that you can understand. This is the triangle. We have 5, we have 13 here, and we have 13 here as well. So now listen, because this line divides the chord into 2 equal parts. So that means if I know this part, if I know the length of this side, I can easily get the length of this side. It's simple. Listen to the explanation again. I just bring out triangle POQ. POQ, you know. Now, we are told in the question that the line comes from, if the total distance between the diameter and this chord is 5 centimeters, that means that the line that divides the chord into 2 equal parts comes from the center, right? So if that line divides the chord into 2 equal parts, that means this part will be what? A length, and this part will also be what? A length. You understand? They are of the same length. The reason why I'm telling you this is because we need this base to calculate the areas of the triangle. Areas of the triangle is half base times height. Don't forget. Areas of the triangle is what? Half base times height. You understand? Half base times height. Now I need the base. You understand? So that's why I'm emphasizing on this. So if I know the value here, I can know the value that is here. You understand? Okay? To get the value that is here, let us use Pythagoras theorem. Now, bring out this triangle. Let's call this one T. You understand? This is T. Bring out triangle POT. POT. This is 5 and this is 13. We don't know the value here. So let us represent as Y. Okay? According to Pythagoras theorem, if you want to get the value of this, y squared is equals to 13 squared minus 5 squared, right? Yes. Y is equals to the square root of 13 is what? 169. 169 minus 25. 169 minus 25, that is what? 144, you know? 144. So I'm going to have y equals to square root of 144. Y equals to 12. So the value here will be 12, and the value here will also be what? Will also be 12. So the total length here will be what? 12 plus 12, which is what? 24. Do you understand? Okay. So that means we can easily, the base of this triangle is 24. That is the total length from this point to this point. The length of the chord itself is 24. So now we can now calculate the areas of the triangle. Half base, the base now is 24. Don't forget. But why 24 times height? The height now is what? Is 5. You understand? So times 5 here. So I'm going to have here 12. 5 times 12 is what? 60. So the areas of the triangle is 60 centimeter squared. Do you understand? Okay, we've gotten the areas of the sector and the areas of the triangle. Now let's calculate the areas of the minor segment by subtracting the areas of the sector from the areas of the triangle. This sector that you see here is called minor sector. Okay, the sector that I deal with here is called minor sector. So let's proceed. The areas of the minor segment will now be equals to areas of the minor segment is equals to 192.82 minus 60. Okay, don't forget the units, centimeter squared. Okay, 192.82 minus 60. Oh, there is a mistake somewhere. If you take the simplification of this, you're going to have 198.82. You understand? You get what I'm saying, okay? The reason why I made mistake is because I didn't do it step by step. You understand? I just simplified it. I simplified at the same time, so I make a mistake. Okay, listen. If you simplify this, you're going to have 198.82 centimeters squared as the area of the sector. So the value that will be here is 198.82. Do you understand what I changed? This is where I made mistake. Okay, area of the sector. If you punch your calculator, you're going to have 198.82 centimeters squared. But I wrote before 192, which is incorrect. Okay, so I corrected it now. Now you can now proceed to calculate the areas of the segment, which is the difference between the areas of the triangle and the areas of the sector. So for this, I'm going to have 198.82 minus 60. That is 138.82 centimeter squared. Now, to the nearest whole number, we're going to have 139 centimeter squared. Okay, that is the areas of the segment. That is the area that is here. Okay, let's proceed to the next question. In a man's wills, he gave 2/5 of the total acres of his cocoa farm to the wife, and 1/3 of what is left to the family. The rest of the farm was to be shared amongst his 3 children in the ratio 3:5:2. Given that the child who had the least shared received 8 acres, calculate the total acres the man left behind. 2. The numbers of acres the wife received. Okay, now let's start with the interpretation of the question. Okay, the man gave 2/5 of the total acres of land. Now let the total acres of land equals to x. Are you getting it? Now let us look at what the wife received. He gave 2/5 of the total acres of the cocoa farm to the wife. So the wife received 2/5 of x. You understand? Because now we have already represented the total acres of land as x. Now the wife received 2/5 of x. That is what? 2x all over 5. Are you there? Now, and 1/3 of what is left to the family. Listen, okay? You have to understand how the question was structured. This is just a word problem question, okay? Now, having given his wife 2/5 of the total acres of land, the question says, and 1/3 of what is left. That means that x, what is left with the what? The remaining hectares of land. After he gave, listen, it's simple. The remaining hectares of land after he gave 2/5x, 2/5 of the acres of land, the remaining acres with what? X minus 2x all over 5. Do you know? Because the question says he gave 1/3 of what is left. Now, what is left is the remaining acres of land. Now, if he gave 2/5 of x to his wife, what is left with what? Total acres of land minus 2/5 of x. Do you understand? Listen to the explanation again. The man gave 2/5 of the total acres of land to the wife. That is what? 2x/5. Now, 1/3 of what is left, he gave it to the family. You understand? Now, what is left is the total acres of land minus what he gave to the wife. What he gave to the wife is what? 2x/5. So, x minus 2x/5 is the remaining acres of land that is left. Is that not it? Now, that means that 1/3 of the remaining, what the family received now will be what? 1/3 multiplied by x minus 2x all over 5. This is what the family received. Are you getting it? Now, the rest of the farm was to be shared. Okay? The rest of the farm was to be shared among his 3 children in the ratio 3:5:2. The ratio now is what? 3:5:2. Okay? Given that the child who had the least shared, received 8 acres. The person received 8 acres. ACRES. Now, calculate the total acres the man left. So the goal now is to calculate the areas of the value of x. You understand? Which is total acres. We have to calculate the total acres, which is the value of x. Now, look at the ratio that we are given. We have 3:5:2. Now, let's say the first children is A, the second children is B. The first child is A, the second child is B, and the third child is C. That means that if A receives 3 acres, B will receive 5 acres, and C will receive 2 acres. Now, among this child, which of the child received the least shared? That is 2, right? The third child, which is C. Is that not it? Now, we can determine the value of x from, what we are given. Are you getting it? First, take the sum of the ratio. The sum of the ratio is what? 3 plus 5 plus 2, right? Which is what? 10. Okay? We are told that the least shared, the child that received the least shared is what? That person received 8 acres. So, and we know that with respect to the explanation that I made earlier, we know that it is C that will receive the least share. So I'm going to have 2 all over the total ratio, right? Yes, all over 10 multiplied by the share that the children received, we don't know it, right? So let us represent that share with with y. Multiply by y equals to what? 8. You understand? Where y is the total share of the children. You understand? The acres that the children receive. You understand? So y represent the acres of land received by the 3 children. You understand? So now we need to get the expression for y from what we have been given. Okay, the expression for y, listen, y will be equals to x minus the y own. Don't forget, he gave 2 over here, 2/5 of the total acres of land to the wife. So x minus, put the big bracket, x minus 2x all over 5, is that not it? Plus the one he gave to the family. Are you getting it? Listen to the explanation again, okay? It's simple. Please listen. It's simple. We want to get the value of y. I've already told you that let y represent the total acres of land, the acres of land shared among the children. You understand? So now, from what we are given concerning the children, we can easily get the value of x, right? Yes. So I represent the acres of land shared among the children as y. Now, to get the total the acres of land shared among the children, we need to subtract the total acres of land. We need to subtract the acres of land that the wife got from the total acres, and we also need to subtract the acres of land that the family got from the total acre. That is remaining, the acres that remains is shared among the children. Do you understand? Okay, so that's what I'm doing. X is the total acres of land. The wife got how many? 2 over 5 of the total acres of land. That is 2x over 5, right? Now, I'm summing it with what the family got, because it is these that I'm going to subtract from the total acres to get the acres of land that the children received. Do you understand? So 2x over 5 plus what the family got. What the family got is what? 1 over 3 multiplied by x minus 2x, but plus 1 over 3. Oh, let me change the matter. Plus 1 over 3 multiplied by x minus 2x all over 5. Okay, all over 5. Do you understand? Now, so hello. Yeah, now let us proceed. Do you understand to this point? So this is the value of y. Are you getting it? Now let us simplify. Okay, let us simplify. We're going to get the concept now. Y will be equals to x minus, okay, let's go. Let's first deal with what we have here. 2x over 5 plus, okay, now 1 over 3 times x, that is what? Okay, let's do it step by step. Okay, let's do it step by step. Let's deal with what we have in the bracket first. So I'm going to have 1 over 3 multiplied by, okay, now what is the LCM of this? LCM is 5, right? Yes. 5 divided by 1, 5. 5 times x is what? 5x. 5 divided by 5, 1. 1 times minus 2x, that is what? Minus 2x, okay? Do you understand? Okay. So for this y, oh, don't let me use blue pen there. Let's continue with the black. So y is equals to x minus now 2 over 2x, sorry, 2x over 5. What I'm doing now is that I'm simplifying, okay? Plus 5x minus 2x all over 15. Do you know what I did? 1 over 3 multiply all the thing in the bracket. We're going to have 1 times this, 3 times 5 is what? 15, okay? Now, having gotten to this point, we can still take the LCM. So I'm going to have y is equals to, what is the LCM? Listen. What is the LCM of this and this? The LCM is 15, right? Yes, so I'm going to have x, let's use blue, minus, open the bracket, the LCM is 15 now. 15 divided by 5, 3. 3 times 2x, that is what? 6x. 6x, okay? 15 divided by 15, that is what? 1. 1 times 5x minus 2x. Well, listen, You can even 5x minus 2x is what? 3x, right? So it's still the same. So let's put 3x plus 3x. Please, do you understand what I'm doing? Please, it's simple, okay? It's simple. I'm just simplifying what I have here. You understand? 5x minus 2x is what? 3x, right? 15 divided by 15 is 1. 1 times 3x will give us 3x. Do you understand? Okay, so I've not done anything. I'm just simplifying, okay? Now, having gotten to this point, we have 6x plus 3x. That is what? 9x. So I'm going to have y is equals to x minus 9x all over 15, okay? So this is the, we can still take the LCM. I'm very sure you are aware of that. So let's take the LCM. We just want to simplify so that we can actually substitute what we have into as value of y here. Then you just solve for the value of x. Do you understand? Okay, so you can still simplify it. What is the LCM? Sorry. You can still simplify. What is the LCM of 1 and 15? That is what? 15, right? Yes. 15 divided by 1, 15. 15 times x is what? 15x. I'm going to have 15x. 15 divided by 15, 1. 1 times negative 9x, that is what? Minus 9x. Okay? 15x minus 9x. What's the answer? That is what? 6x. Okay? So I'm going to have 6x all over 15. Do you understand? So I have simplified what I have here to this step. 6x all over 15. Now, we can now replace the value of y as 6x all over 15 here. I'm coming. Okay, I'm looking forward to playing. Just pay attention, okay? So we have 6x all over 15. Now, I can now replace the value of y as 6x all over 15. So let us do that. Y is now 6x all over 15. Do you understand? Okay, now having gotten the value of y as 6x all over 15, let us erase this. Okay, so we have known that the total acres that was shared among the children is 6x all over 15. So let us solve. Let's solve for the value of x. I'm going to have 12x all over. Now, 10 times 15, that is what? 150. 150 equals to 8. Okay, 12x is equals to 8 times 150. So 12x is equals to 8 multiplied by 150. That is what? 1,200. So we're going to have 1,200. Divided by 12, this over 12. So x is equals to 100. So the total acres that was shared, listen, the total acres of land that was shared between the family member, between the wife and the wife and the children is what? 100 acres. You understand? The total acres is 100. Now, that is the total acres of land. Let's look at what we have to do in the question. Okay, this is the total acres. We are done with the first question. The total acres that the man left is 100 acres. Do you understand? Now we are asked to determine the numbers of acres the wife received. Okay, now don't forget that the wife received 2 over 5 of the total acres. So the numbers of acres that the wife received, that will be what? 2 over 5 multiplied by x. Now x is 100. I'm going to have 2 over 5 multiplied by 100. 5 here 1, 5 here. That will be 20. So 2 times 20 is what? 40. So the wife will receive 40 acres. Do you understand? Okay, the wife will receive 40 acres. Now let's say you are now asked to calculate the acres that the family received. Just substitute the value of x as 100 here and then you solve. Okay, and if you are asked to calculate the acres that each of the children received, you can do that. I'm very sure you are fast with ratio. You understand? So that's the solution to that question. Now let's look at question B under that same question. The list price of a television set is $1,600. It can be purchased by a deposit of $400 and the rest of the amount paid by 12-month installment at 25% per annum simple interest. If the television set is purchased by installment, find the total costs. Okay? The list price of a television set is $1,600. It can be purchased by a deposit of $400 and the rest of the amount paid by 12 monthly installments at 12% per annum simple interest. If the television set is purchased by installment, find the total cost. Okay? We are given that the list price of the television is what? The list price is $1,600. $1,600. That is the price that they want to sell the television. Okay? That the seller want to sell the television. Now, it can be purchased by a deposit of $400. Okay? If you want to purchase it on deposit, maybe you don't want to pay the total cost. I mean, the price of the television at once. You want to purchase it by depositing a part of it. Now, if you have to deposit $400, okay? If you want to purchase it by deposit, the first amount you have to deposit is $400, okay? Now, and you have to pay the rest within 12 months at 12% rate. You understand? The rate that we're given is the time to pay the rest of the money is 12 months. You understand? Okay? And the rate, look at the rate. The rate at which you are paying, the rate is 25%. Okay? 25% per annum simple interest. If the television set is purchased by installment, find the total cost. Now, listen. We want to look at the total cost of the television. Now, if you want to purchase the television, you have to first pay $400. Is that not it? So, how much are you going to pay after the $400? Listen to the explanation again. To understand this question, the list price of the television is $1,600. You know, if you are not paying the actual price, you understand? If you're not, let's say you didn't want to complete your payment immediately, perhaps you didn't have enough to pay a sum of $1,600 at once, then you can do it like this. The seller agreed that you are going to deposit $400. Then you have to pay the rest of the money within 12 months, and the rate of the simple interest rate is what? 25%. Now, if you pay $400, how much will be left for you to pay the seller? Okay? If you pay $400, amount left after paying $400 will be what? $1,600 minus $400, you know? So that will be what? $1,200, right? Now, if you want to pay this $1,200, because you are paying it within the range of 12 months, that means you're going to add interest. You understand what I'm saying? So let us calculate the interest that is going to be on top of this money. Okay, and that means I'm going to have the simple interest now. If you what, the one you want to pay, which is 1,200 multiplied by the time. The time is 12 months, so 1 year. 12 months is 1 year, and we are told that it is per annum, so that's the 12 times 1 times rate, which is 25 all over what? All over 100. You understand? Okay, so for this I'm going to have this cancel this. So the simple interest is what? $300. Okay, $300. So now the total cost, listen, the total cost will be the total cost of the television will be $400 that you paid, $400 plus the $1,200 plus the interest, which is what? $300. Okay, so $400 plus $1,200, that is what? $1,600, right? Yes, $1,600 plus $300, that is what? $1,900. Okay, $1,900. That is the total cost of the television set. Do you understand? Okay, now let's proceed to the next question. Find the equation of the line that passes through the origin and the point of intersection of the line x plus 2y equals to 7 and x minus y equals to 4. Okay, that is 11th question. Okay, we are asked to find the equation of the line that passes through the origin and the point of intersection of the line. We are given the line x plus 2y equals to 7 and x minus y equals to 4. Now, when a point, we are told that it passes through the origin, you understand? And the origin on the graph is what? 0, 0, right? So the first point that we are given is 0, 0. Do you understand? Okay, now the point of intersection of these lines will be the second point, so that we can find the equation of the line. Okay, the equation of a line is given by this formula: y minus y1 all over x minus x1 equals to y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. You understand? You see this one that you see here is known as the gradient. You understand what I'm saying? The gradient of the line. So you can also write this formula as y minus y1 all over x minus x1 equals to m, where m is the gradient. Do you understand? Okay, now, but we are only having one point because the equation of the line passes through the origin. That is origin 0, 0. That is for x and y, x, y. And the second point will be the solution of this simultaneous of this equation. I get what I'm trying to say. So we have to solve this simultaneous equation. We have to solve this equation simultaneously to get the value of x and y, which will be the coordinate of the second point. Okay. So let's go. This is 1. This is 2. Now, to solve this equation, just subtract equation 2 from equation 1. So I'm going to have x, this minus this. X minus x is what? 0, right? So 2y minus y. 2y minus y equals to what? 7 minus 4, right? So I'm going to have 2y plus y equals to 7 minus 4 is what? That is 3, right? So I'm going to have 3. 2y plus y, that is 3y. 3y equals to 3. Divide by 3, that is what? 1. This over 3, this over 3. Y equals to 1. Okay? We have gotten the value of y as 1. We can get the value of x by substituting the value of y into any of these equations. So let us use equation 2. Equation 2 is what? X minus y. Equation 2 is x minus y equals to 4. X minus y equals to 4. So y is 1. So I'm going to have x minus 1 equals to 4. X equals to what? 4 plus 1. X equals to 5. So having gotten the value of x as 5, the coordinate now is what? The second point is x, y is what? That will be 5, 1. Okay, now let's go back to the formula. So to get the equation now, this thing, the 2 points that we obtain now is what? 0, 0 and 5, 1. Do you know? These are the 2 points that we obtain. This 0, 0 is what? This one is x1, this is y1, and this is x2, and this is y2. Do you understand? Okay? So all you have to do now is that just replace the value of x1, y1, and x2, y2 into this. Are you getting it? And you can do it other way around. Just calculate the gradient, which is for this, y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, get the gradient and equate it to what we have here. Okay? So let's use this one. We have y minus y1, y minus y1. y1 is 0, y minus 0 all over x minus x1, which is also 0, equals to y2 minus y1. y2 is 1, 1 minus 0 all over x2, which is what? x2 is 5. Do you know? x2 is 5. 5 minus 0. Okay? So I'm going to have y over x equals to 1 over 5, right? So I'm going to have 5y equals to x. Do you understand? Or 5y equals to x. So you can now write the equation like this. Y equals to x over 5. Do you understand? Okay, so that is the equation that we are asked to derive. This is the solution to that question. Okay, the equation of the line that passes through the origin and the point of intersection of the line x plus 2y equals to 7 and x minus y equals to 4 is y equals to x over 5. So you can do it either way. Now, let's look at the second question under that question. The ratio of an interior angle to an exterior angle of a regular polygon is 4:1. Find 1. The numbers of sides, the value of the exterior angle, and the sum of the interior angles of the polygon. Now, what is the regular polygon? A regular polygon is a type of polygon that has all its sides and angles equal. You understand? Okay? Now, because they have all its side and angle equal, that means that if I know one angle and I know the numbers of sides, I can get the sum of angles in that polygon. Is that not it? Now, we are given the ratio that the ratio is what? 4:1. The ratio of the interior, listen, the ratio of the interior, angle, ratio exterior angle is what? 4:1. Now, don't forget, pay attention to the question. An interior angle signifies one interior angle. Do you understand? And we know that the sum of the interior angles of a regular polygon is what? N minus 2 multiplied by what? 180 degree. That is the sum of angles in a regular polygon. Now, if I want to get a single angle, what do I do? I will divide the sum of the angle by the numbers of sides, right? Do you understand? That will give me an interior angle. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? An interior angle. You understand? Okay? Now, another thing that you have to pay attention to is that we are also dealing with an exterior angle. That means that one exterior angle. So I'm going to have one exterior angle with what? 360 all over the numbers of sides. Okay? So this is an exterior angle of a regular polygon. That is a single exterior angle of a regular polygon. Now, we are told that the ratio of this to this is what? 4:1. We are now asked to find the numbers of sides. We can do that by just saying that n minus 2 multiplied by 180 degree all over n ratio 360 all over n is equals to, now, because ratio deals with the expression of fraction in this lowest term, so I'm going to express this as 4/1. So this is 4/1. Do you understand? Okay. Let me erase that side. Okay, so now let's proceed. For this, I'm going to have n minus 2 multiplied by 180 all over n multiplied by n all over 360 equals to what? Equals to 4/1. Okay, I'm going to have 180n minus 360 all over n multiplied by n all over 360 equals to 4/1, right? Okay, n multiplied by 180n minus 360 equals to 360n. You understand? That is 180n minus 360 times n. I'm going to have this, right? Then 360 multiplied by n, I'm going to have 360n equals to 4/1. Okay, so cross multiply, I'm going to have, please pay attention, n multiplied by 180n minus 360 equals to 360n multiplied by 4. That is what? 1440n. Okay, now the next step is that just open the brackets using the value of n. I'm going to have 180n squared minus 360n equals to 1440n. Do you understand? Okay, so I'm going to have 180n squared minus 360n minus 1440n equals to 0. Okay, so I'm going to have 180n squared minus 1800n equals to 0. Do you understand? Now divide both sides by 1000. Divide both sides by 180. This over 180, this over 180, and this over 180. That is what? N squared minus 10. Okay, minus 10n equals to 0. Do you understand? Okay, if you want to test, you can take the product of 180 and 10. 180 times 10, that is 1800. So I just, in an attempt to help me to simplify the quadratic equation, I divide both sides. I divide all through by the coefficient of n squared, which is 180. So I obtain this equation. So we can solve this equation quadratically by factorizing n multiplied by n minus 10 equals to 0. So n will be equals to 0 or n will be equals to 10. Do you understand? Okay, having gotten the value of n as 10, are you wondering how I got n equals to 10? It's simple. This is what I did. See, here n will be equals to 0. N minus 10 will be also be equals to 0. N minus 10, this thing, n minus 10 equals to 0. N will be equals to what? 10. Do you understand? I just set this bracket equals to 0. I set this one also equals to 0. I set this bracket, n minus 10 equals to 0. So I got the value of n as 10. Now, the numbers of side is 10, okay? That is the significant value there. The numbers of side is 10. So having gotten the numbers of side as 10, that is the first question. The numbers of side, n equals to 10. Now, the second question, we are asked to calculate the value of the exterior angle. Okay? To get the value of the exterior angle is what? 360 over n, right? So I'm going to have the exterior angle equals to 360 all over 10. Do you understand? That is what? 36 degrees, okay? Now, for the next one, the sum of the interior angles of the polygon, okay? The sum of the interior angles of the polygon is what? N minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees. So I'm going to have sum of the interior angle equals to n minus 2 multiplied by 180 degree, okay? Now, when n is what? N minus 2 multiplied by 180 degree. Now, when n is 10, I'm going to have 10 minus 2 multiplied by 180 degree. Do you understand? Okay? 10 minus 2 is what? 8. I'm going to have 8 multiplied by what? 180. 8 multiplied by 180 degree, okay? 8 multiplied by 180 degree, that is what? 1440 degree. Do you understand? So the sum of the interior angles of that polygon is 1440 degree. So you can see that the question is simple. All you have to do is that just pay attention to the details, to the parameters that you are given in the question, okay?